with a bit of help from the sound archives. Perhaps I'd better start by bringing you up to date on the stories so far. 4 people have been murdered in mysterious circumstances, and all the resources of the fictional police and amateur detective forces have been brought in to solve these ghastly crimes. So, on we go. By now, our investigators' inquiries are wide-ranging.
I suppose, Lady Farmer, that you knew Hayho?
Everard Raven's man. Yes, I know Hayho, an extremely disagreeable old person.
He's dead. They found him last night, buried in snow.
All frozen and stiff?
Decidedly so. As stiff as a statue, as they say.
No doubt he drank.
I suppose he did. Did you ever hear an odd story about him?
I don't often hear odd stories about other people's servants.
Come to think of it, there was something odd about the old fella, but I'm dashed if I can remember what.
Oh, so frustrating when that happens, isn't it? Human beings are such unreliable witnesses. Let's try another approach.
It does not displease you, I hope, Mr. Wellman, that I should endeavour to be of assistance to Miss Carlyle?
No, of course not. But
what can I do? Is it that you would ask?
Seems a little rude put like that. But really, of course, that is the point. What can you do?
I can search for the truth. Will you assist me by telling me just what you think of the whole business?
What can I say? The mere idea of Eleanor actually doing such a melodramatic thing as poisoning someone is laughable. But how do you explain that to a jury?
You are a person, Mr. Wellman, of sensibility and intelligence. The facts condemn Miss Carlyle. Your knowledge of her acquits her. What then really happened?
I suppose the nurse couldn't have done it?
She was never near the sandwiches.
I thought those sandwiches held the key. Maybe the cyanide was in the pot of anchovy paste, or perhaps the vicar wasn't wearing his dog collar and the bullet was deflected by the warming pan over the fireplace. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Time for further developments.
I'm sorry to have to take up more of your time, Mr. Crowther, but there have been fresh developments. Really? What are they?
Nothing very useful, I'm afraid. Just more red herrings, blind alleys, and wrong trees to be barked up. Perhaps our investigators will have more luck if they try and buy information.
You got the money?
200. It's all there.
Okay. Brody and I were out driving Sunday before last. Saw Eddie Marr's wife and Camino out for air. Joe tailed them back to east of Rialito. That's orange country, but just there it's bare as hell's backyard, except for a cyanide plant where they make the stuff for fumigation.
Fumigation, huh? We all know there's only one use for cyanide in a murder scenario, don't we? It's always important in crime fiction to be able to spot the salient points.
Are you listening to me, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Sitting back with your eyes closed and your fingertips together,
Believe me, Miss Turner, I was never more intent. Now tell me this whistle and the metallic sound you heard. Could you swear to it?
That was what the coroner asked me. Yes, I could swear to it.
What your sister dressed?
No, she was in her nightdress. In one hand she had a box of matches and in the other a charred stump of a match.
Showing she had struck a light and looked about her. Yes, that's important.
Important? But we still haven't got much, have we? What this case needs is a really dramatic breakthrough.
Good heavens, Poirot, what is the matter? Are you ill?
No. It is that I have an idea.
Oh, one of your little ideas?
Oh, ma foi, no. This time it is an idea gigantic, stupendous. And you, my friend, have given it to me. Look. The final proof, the last link in the chain, is now in my hands. A letter in a murderer's own handwriting, mes amis. Let me read it to you. Dearest Evelyn, you'll be anxious at hearing nothing. It is all right, only it will be tonight instead of last night. You understand? There's a good time coming once the old woman is dead and out of the way. No one can possibly bring on the crime to me. That idea of yours about the bromides was a stroke of genius, but we must be very circumspect. A false step... Here, my friends, the letter breaks off.
That's always a good ploy. On a par with the dying man who says, "And the murderer's name is..." Perhaps what our story lacks at the moment is a bit of suspense, violence even. Now, what shall we throw in to liven it up? I know, how about this? Let's suppose our investigators are on a boat trying to tap out a vital message in Morse code.
Here they come. Come away from that transmitter or I shoot the girl. Okay, Jock, we've had it.
Well, you shouldn't have worried about me, Mr. Barton.
Nice work, sir. Get the message out.
Good enough out to have somebody after the ship pretty soon.
Carl, we must do something quickly. Barton has sent a message.
Quite so. But when the police or the British Navy arrive, there will be nothing to support the truth of the message. You must dispose of all these people as I've told you. With the exception of Barton himself.
But when the police arrive?
When the police or the naval authorities arrive, you must tell them that you picked up Barton. He was the only survivor from the crashed seaplane.
But he will...
His brain is affected. Hence his crazy messages in Morse.
But Barton is not mad. He's perfectly sane.
He is quite sane at the moment. But by the time anyone arrives on board the ship, he must be quite mad. We must arrange that now. I did not work in a hospital for nothing.
The spine tingles, doesn't it? And you know, with everything that's been going on, I think our investigations are finally beginning to get somewhere. Maybe it's the moment to set up a confrontation.
Miss Wayne.
Yes?
I want you to do something for me. I want you to give a cocktail party.
A cocktail party?
Yes.
When?
Tomorrow night.
You mean here, in this flat?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Perfectly serious. Will you do it?
Well, who do you want me to invite?
My wife, myself, Sir Graham Forbes, Inspector Kingston, Lance Reynolds, and Wilfred Sterling.
Yes, all right, Mr. Temple. Shall we say 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock. Oh, and I think perhaps you'd better invite Louis Fabian.
Cocktail party? Summon all the suspects into the library? It's up to you how you actually set the thing up, but it is important that you begin your confrontation the right way.
Monsieur, Mesdames, I have called you together for a special purpose.
That'll do nicely. Good, traditional stuff. But what are we actually going to do with all our suspects now we've got them together?
You've all heard of police reconstructions. Well, this very short experiment may be regarded as a reconstruction, and if I am at fault in the smallest detail, I ask you to put me right. Is that quite clear?
You want us to do everything we did last night?
If you have no objection.
Very well.
Thank you.
So what you do now as an investigator is you go through all the details of the case, point the finger at the perpetrator, and your mystery is solved.
Mesdames, Messieurs, let me introduce you to the murderer.
Of course, a problem only arises if the murderer won't play ball.
Look out, Temple. Stand back. If anyone comes near me, I warn you, I'll shoot.
Put that gun down, Fabian.
Don't be a fool, man. If anyone comes near me, I warn you, I'll shoot.
Put that gun down, Fabian.
Don't be a fool, man. Put it down. I warn you. Get away from that door.
Keep away from the door, Miss Wayne.
Now look. I'm going to take this key and I'm going to lock the door from the other side. If anybody rushes me, I'll shoot.
It's not just your murderer escaping. At the moment of unmasking, other unexpected problems can arise. The criminal might have a rather overdramatic girlfriend, for example.
You want to take him and shut him away, like a wild animal behind bars, like a beast. And you think I'll let you do it? You think I'll stand right here and watch him slip into a living grave and not save him from it?
You can't save him from the gallows.
I can I? I'll show you that I can!
Now, you may think that's ruined everything, but it hasn't, actually. Killing the murderer does at least avoid that tedious business of actually getting him convicted on the tenuous evidence that you have managed to assemble. In the old days, of course, ending a crime story was much simpler.
You can't mean I'm in prison. Now listen, my dear. I'm afraid it's worse than that. Worse than that? Look over there. You see where there's a little bit of fire in the grate? Well, and paper on the wall, and pictures, and a carpet on the floor.
Why can't you come out straight and tell her? They're going to hang you in the morning, Miss Barton. This is the condemned cell.
The difficulty with crime fiction is that once you've sorted out who actually done it, there still tend to be all kinds of niggly little details which require explanation. It leads to a lot of dialogue beginning, "The thing I don't understand."
The thing I don't understand.
What don't you understand, Steve?
Well, why did Kingston do all this? After all, he had a pretty good job.
He also had a pretty nice collection of debts, Steve. He'd been gambling heavily. Lost nearly £7,000. The Cordova pendant was an easy way out. It was worth nearly 5,000.
50,000?
50,000, I beg your pardon. I tell you, it was a shock to me.
A shock to everyone, I would imagine. There is quite a difference between £5,000 and £50,000. Some of the explanations at the end of crime stories require a lot of concentration, particularly when they involve family relationships.
Hay-Ho was your half-brother, Everard, just as he was a sort of half-uncle to Mark and Judith and a cousin to Miss Clarissa. Now, you may remember me asking if Hay-Ho was older than the rest of you, and you declared he was. The point of the question you will realize at once if I ask you another. Are you really certain that Hay-Ho was illegitimate?
Hay-Ho?
Hay-Ho's mother became, or thought she became, a Mrs. Grope. But I'm afraid we shall find that Ranulph Raven, perhaps for some eccentric delight in the possible consequences that might result long after, had contracted a previous marriage with her. And this means that Hay-Ho was your father's only legitimate child.
Hay-Ho? Hey-ho. Clear as mud as far as I'm concerned. And I'm still rather confused about that business with the wireless. Maybe we need a bit of dialogue beginning, "One more thing."
One more thing. How on earth did Nicholas manage that business with the wireless?
Well, you remember the fishing rod above the mantelpiece in the smoking room?
Yes.
When he was supposedly sulking, Nicholas cut off a length of the line with the fly on the end of it. He hooked the fly into the screw hole of the wireless volume control, passed the line under the waveband knob and over the tuning control, forming a sort of smooth-running pulley, and fixed the other end of the line to the library door jamb with a drawing pin.
Good heavens!
All he had to do then was to tweak the line, and the hook pulled the volume control from 0 to fairly loud, while the line playing over the tuning control tuned it to the station. As the hook reached the bottom of the circuit, it fell out.
Genius!
Wasn't it just? Our murder mystery's nearly finished now. Oh, and we'd better get one cliché out of the way.
The butler did it. Even in fiction, that's usually regarded as unsatisfactory these days.
And so another case is solved. Justice is done, and our investigator, turning up the collar of his coat against the driving rain, returns to his lonely pounding of the mean streets that are his natural habitat.
The double scotches weren't doing me any good. The headlines said a war was coming. Civilization was being threatened once again. I had more scotch. All it did was make me think of Silverwig, and I never saw her again.
No, I'm afraid even nowadays, detectives don't often get the girl.
Inspector,
Yes?
perhaps you can't believe me, and it doesn't matter now anyway. But I loved you.
Goodbye, Sue.
Inspector, you never did tell me your Christian name.
Brings a tear to the eye, doesn't it? Still, good has triumphed, justice has been done, and the murderer has been safely tucked away in a place where he or she is no longer a threat to the rest of us law-abiding citizens. Lovely. Why can't real life be as tidy as crime fiction?
In Whodunit, the investigator was Simon Brett and the producer was Rosemary Hart.